Hello, and welcome to my new moon in Pisces tarot card reading for, what is it, March? March of 2022. Hard to believe we are already in a new month again. I am going to do two readings today. The first one is this public one on YouTube. I will be using the Osho Zen Tarot deck, and I'll do one card for the individual now, the collective now, and the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. And then I will create an extended video, which is available on my website for an $11 exchange. And that will go deeper into each of the areas that we're looking at individually, collectively, and then how to move through the next lunar cycle with the greatest wisdom and guidance from all of the beings who surround us as we do this human walk. Included in that extended video is also the meditation that I'm going to create after this for the new moon. Those are beautiful 20-25 minute guided visualization exercises. Meditation is sometimes such a limited word, but it's a chance for you to pause and really tune into the possibilities within yourself of this new moon cycle. The way that I guide it is, it's just fun. I have music in the background, and it's just a beautiful way to feel the vibration of what's happening within you and then how that connects to the collective experience. So you can find all that information in the links with the videos, and yeah, enjoy. All right, so let's pull some cards. I feel like what I want to start with is it's a really confusing time right now to be human and to be an individual in this collective, one globe, one world that we all function in, realizing how everything that happens somewhere else has a ripple that moves to where we are, and everything we create has a ripple that moves to everyone else around the world. And so I'm going to trust that the information, the words, the message, the cards that we pull are guided by what most serves you to hear in this moment, or else you wouldn't have been called to watch this video. And so it may be a completely different translation, interpretation for you than how I'm receiving it, but what you feel is most true for you, and what your guidance suggests for you is what is right for you. So allow this to simply be information, a vibration of energy and words and love from my heart out to yours, and then take from it what most serves you and leave the rest. And perhaps, if nothing else, what we all realize is we have the ability to connect at all times with other humans, and even if that's sometimes just through pausing and watching a tarot card reading, the act of being present with each other, with pausing and feeling and expressing and sharing energy, is such an incredible gift as a human. It is such a powerful way to navigate through the world. And you're not by yourself. I'm not by myself. And the ways that we align our energy and contribute our energy back into the collective experience is more powerful than we realize. So yeah, let's start with that. If you are new to my channel, then this all looks like how it's always been. If you have been through a few of these transformational moments with me, you will see that I have a new background. I've moved the video camera. It's a little bit higher, sitting on my desk instead of all the way over there. The microphone seems to be working way better than it has, the lighting. So we'll keep playing. Eventually I'll find the sweet spot that works the best. All right, Osho, let's see what wisdom you have. I'm going to pull, I always try to shuffle so you can actually see it. I'm going to pull, I think the top 3 cards, and we're going to do the individual now, maturity, and we'll look at each one individually. The collective now, success, and the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle, fighting. Oof. When Osho shares wisdom, it's often not what the card says. The wisdom is to do the opposite of that, to put down the armor is probably what that card is going to inform us. So let's take a look together. The first thing I'm going to do is invite you to see what you see in the card. So this is for the individual now. Right? Did I say that? It was individual, right? And then the collective now was success. So what do you notice when you see this card? I'm trying to turn it so you can see all different ways. What pops out to you? What I see when I look at this it's like the multidimensionality of, the camera is so far away. Hopefully this works for you. The multidimensionality of this individual who is within a bubble, but you can see the other reality of the rest of her body behind that circle. And then all the beauty of the flowers. Like, can you see all of the flowers and the magic that sits in her face and in her body? Yeah. So for us individually, what does that mean? It kind of looks like one part of a pair of rose-colored glasses. Can you see that? Like one lens of one half of a pair of glasses. There's so many layers to this. I feel like for me, maturity, maybe that's why it's coming through, maturity. Maturity, in the way I understand it, is being able to sit fully in whatever the experience that you're in the moment is, and be at peace with it, even if we don't enjoy it or like it or know that it in our mind would be the best thing to have happen. If we're sitting in an experience, are we able to, like this woman, just rest fully in what is happening within us and then around us? From that maturity comes guided information. I believe there is usually action that comes from that stillness and acceptance of what is. So this doesn't feel passive in the sense of I'm just going to lean back and let the world do whatever it's going to do to me or to others and just not participate. It feels like having the maturity to go within yourself, within ourselves, and feel what is true for us and trust whatever inspired, guided action wants to flow from that mature stillness. And it's going to look different for everyone. So as we, for example, are watching what's happening politically and economically and physically in Europe with so much pain and suffering, there's a global impact of that. There's a global feeling of that every human, I believe, is touched by, or I'm sure is touched by in some way. The maturity is to go inside and discern for ourselves what's the highest contribution we can make in this moment to, as an individual, to whatever is at this moment on the globe. And for some people, that may be I lay down and I take a nap, and in that sleep space, because we're in the new moon in Pisces, in that sleep space, in that dream space, new ideas, new possibilities are able to be received in that non-logical mind consciousness. And from that nap, inspiration comes that births a creation or an offering that contributes to the betterment of all humans, or just to yourself and your family and your community. It elevates the peacefulness of those around you. Perhaps for others, it's this divine guided clarity that then from that comes words or writings or action steps, activist steps. There have been so many beautiful individuals I've seen who are immediately just gathering financial resources, and that's their gift. It's to bring all of these resources together and then contribute them to where they are guided as mature individuals to be of the most impact. For others, it's prayer or meditation or visualization, tapping into the collective consciousness energy field of humanity. This energy, and saying, okay, from my stillness, I visualize peace or harmony or understanding, compassion. And from that visualization, energy is harnessed and momentum is created, and that energy is directed over to Europe. This is not a world that functions as it appears to. I know we live in a 3D reality where everything is physically understood or witnessed or heard or felt, but there's all this unseen energy that is truer than what's physical. There's the karma that's playing out. There's the love and the peace and the visualization that is an energetic transmission that is just as powerful as a physical body. There's angels, archangels, beings of light. There's Gaia, Earth. We could, if this wasn't the individual card, maybe the message is this is the individual card. This here is our reality, our earth, our world. And this is the universe sitting outside going, what are you all doing in this mature process that you're in? Because we see the dark, shadowy, crazy, but you're telling us it's all beauty. Like, what is all this? Yeah. Gaia Earth has a truth and a path and a presence that if we attune to that, if all of us attune to that, we would dissolve any conflict, any fear, any doubt. We would tune only into the beauty of being a human. So perhaps that's one potential that as mature souls in human bodies we could activate. Wouldn't that be beautiful? So this card is clearly open for interpretation in whatever ways feel true to you. When I see it as the answer for the individual energy, like what is happening individually, the maturing of souls in human bodies individually is what's happening. The awareness, the understanding, we are not child-like, separate from each other. We are, I'm not saying it very well. It's like the kid who says, I want that piece of candy and I want it right now, or I want to go play and I want to go do this thing. The child has such a limited understanding of how everything impacts everything else. The mature adult, the mature human is going to understand everything is interconnected. Everything is a ripple of energy that is moving into other ripples of energy. And so what is my contribution to that ripple? What do I want to add individually to what is happening on this planet? And a mature, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, a mature soul in a human body takes full ownership for each of our contributions to the whole and honors the others' contributions as mature individuals also, even if we completely disagree or we are completely not supporting what the other is doing. There's an understanding of we're all here to play a part. We're all here to be individuals contributing to the collective shift. That's what I get from that card. And then the collective now, success. So what do you notice when you see this card? Yeah. First of all, look at the tiger walking on the world. Like walking on the world. This is the collective card of what's happening right now. And isn't that what's happening? Like we're all watching what is going on. This is a global situation right now. And what is going to happen collectively? We could be in fear, which says I have no control and the worst is going to happen and it's the end of the end. Or we could listen to the guidance of these cards, of the wisdom of energy, of consciousness, and say, okay, success. Like what would success look like? Well, the ticker parade here would look like a win, an outcome that is positive, The person with their hands in the air feels like freedom, liberation, success, trust. There's no danger, no fear left. And the tiger to me symbolizes like stealthy courage, you know, this like sure-footed one step in front of the other. I know lions are courage, but I feel like tigers are too. I feel like all cats are about courage. They're and just the 9 lives, the invincibility, the belief that we're always going to keep continuing. So when we pull, when I, my guides, we, you're starting, when we pull this card for the collective now, what I feel is we're in a time that is actually unifying the world as much as it looks like it's dividing. And success is the outcome, the celebration of freedom and independence is the outcome. And not even that so much freedom and independence. I feel like it's the celebration of truth coming to light, of systems that are not in truth being brought into the light. And a new moon in Pisces would definitely support that. The Pisces, I know you know all this, but the Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So everything we've been doing over the last year is now coming to this culmination, the astrological year. And so there's a sense of like, what have we learned? What have we accomplished as a humanity? This is the collective card. Where are we at as we ride into the end of this cycle and get ready for Aries at the end of March for the new cycle? Where are we? And the message collectively is we're in a place of success. There is a liberation and expression of truth that has come forward that we may not like, that we may not want to be witnessing, but it's like the underbelly is definitely being exposed of so much junk and lack of integrity. Yeah, I have open on my computer an email that Astro Butterfly sent out. I'll put the link in the description so you can read the full article. But she talks about new moon in Pisces, and she has this title, Trust and Pixie Dust. And she says that this is one of the most spectacular new moons of the year because new moon in Pisces is conjunct Jupiter, the planet of faith, trust, and beliefs, and is close enough to Neptune, the planet of dreams and magic. Pisces is the cosmic womb of creation. Anything, absolutely anything is possible in this magical space where the past, the present, and the future collide. Anything is possible, but it all starts with a belief. We have to actually believe that something is not there yet. Something we can't yet see in the midst of the Piscean waving waters can actually take shape and become a reality. So what if, this makes me want to cry, what if this card is saying collectively, humanity focusing on peace, on truth, on unity, one tiger riding on top of the world, one wave of courage, one collective humanity, not division. It's not 2 tigers fighting each other. It's not 2 men on top of the tiger fighting each other. There's no war bombs around this. This is a celebration of something new can be birthed, something yet to be dreamed of. Or perhaps we've been dreaming of it and we just haven't brought it into reality yet. Can be brought into manifestation. And it takes the belief that that is possible, which in the 3D reality and witnessing what we are witnessing doesn't seem like it could even ever happen. Like, what is the solution? How are we going to come to a place of peace? I believe it starts with belief. We believe that it is possible to live in a peaceful world. And maybe what is shifting right now is the last of the fear, the big purge of the fear is coming up to be seen and witnessed by everyone. Because with smartphones now and drones and all the cameras and all the spyware, the footage, everyone is watching what is happening. I'm sure there are some secrets and there are some things that we don't see, but quite a bit of it is now visible. And so, It's an intense time. It's an intense time, but the belief of success, truth, oneness, unity, harmony, that belief has to have a place inside of us where it can start to expand and form and be expressed and be witnessed and then be reinforced by others. And perhaps that belief is the magic, it's the pixie dust that allows a new reality to be formed. There's a beautiful video by Russell Brand this morning where he just laid it out there. He's like, we need a new system. We need a new way of governing. We need a new way of being humans as part of a one society, not all these countries that can pick and, argue and collaborate and not collaborate, you know what I mean? Like where dominate is the better word, not collaborate, where we dominate and take over others. So, yeah, I wasn't planning to get into politics, but it's hard to not see that and express that when I see what the cards are sharing. All right, this is the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. I'm going to read from the book on this one because it's not about fighting, and it feels important to say that, but it also feels important to show you the card and allow you to see what you see. What do you notice? All right, fighting. Let's see where this card is in the book. 68. My throat is so tight. Whew, so much emotion. I'm sure many are feeling the way I feel right now. All right, so I'm going to hold this up and read to you. This is the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. Whoops, how's that? It says, one moment it was there, another moment it is gone. One moment we are here, and another moment we have gone. And for this simple moment, how much fuss we make, how much violence, ambition, struggle, conflict, anger, and hatred, just for this small moment. Just waiting for the train in a waiting room on a station and creating so much fuss. Fighting, hurting each other, trying to possess, trying to boss, trying to dominate, all that politics. And then the train comes, and you are gone forever. The figure in this card is completely covered in armor. Only his glare of rage is visible on the whites of the knuckles on his clenched fists. If you look closely at the armor, you can see it's covered with buttons, ready to detonate if anybody so much as brushes up against them. In the background, we see the shadowy movie that plays in this man's mind. Two figures fighting for a castle. Oh my God, this card literally has never felt more appropriate. So here is the wisdom. Here is the highest possibilities for us. An explosive temper or a smoldering rage often masks a deep feeling of pain. We think that if we frighten people away, we can avoid being hurt even more. In fact, just the opposite is the case. By covering our wounds with armor, we are preventing them from being healed. By lashing out at others, we keep ourselves from getting the love and the nourishment we need. If this description seems to fit you, it's time to stop fighting. There is so much love available to you if you just let it in. Start by forgiving yourself. You're worth it. Sometimes these cards are just so perfect. So, the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle would seem to be to put down your armor and to trust that love is so much greater than fear. It's so much more powerful. And, inside of many of us are these hurt little children, these humans who have lived a human life that has been filled with suffering and hatred and disappointment and resentment and pain. And our typical response is to layer the barriers on top of that and protect the heart. To cover until you can't even see the human anymore. You don't even know who is that sits right at the center of ourselves? And if we don't know that, if we can't articulate the true self, the true soul that lives inside of this human form, how are we going to be in relationship with other people and expect them to know the true self, expect them to trust the truth that we are, if we don't know it for ourselves? And if what we are protecting against is fear, if what we are focusing on is fear and conflict and anger, what we magnetize towards us is more of that. We are energy, like, attracting to like. And if what we're spitting out is anger, what's going to come back to us is a match to that energy. And it reinforces the belief that we need the armor. It reinforces the belief that we need to protect our heart. And so the armor just continuously gets layered on. I feel like what our guides, what the cards, the energy is saying right now is, can we drop that? And maybe dropping it just means put down your fists for now. Just put down your fists and relax your white knuckles. And just be still, be present. Find the peacefulness and the beauty in just one moment. Because when you do that once, you've opened up a pathway now that you can do it again. You've opened up a certainty that you can feel that again. And so maybe you start by putting your knuckles, your hands down, and then all of a sudden you're like, this layer here, it's getting hot. I'll just put that layer down, and you get used to how it feels to have a little bit over your heart. It's not wide open, but there's some breathability, and then maybe you realize this huge thing on your head is like just so heavy, and can you put that down? Put a baseball cap on. Take off all the weight and just put something a little lighter on for a while. And eventually you may still get someone who wants to punch or someone who wants to fight. If your energy you're sending out is still angry and resentful and wanting to not be vulnerable, not feel love, you're going to have that still come back. But if you can see why it's happening and the armor isn't there, you're attracting people towards you now who also aren't as armored, who aren't going to be as angry because they don't need as many layers. And so it's like this. So if you're down here and you're used to fighting, angry, always in conflict, and you start dropping some of the armor, what you're doing is now elevating the energy that you're exchanging with other people in that field. So if you were down here fighting, and you move to right here, you're going to start attracting people who are also starting to make that shift. So you won't be down at this fighting level. You'll still have some conflict, but it's an elevated exchange of energy because you've shifted. You're a little different. And then if you go to here, you just keep shifting your peacefulness, your trust, your vulnerability. When you get to here, suddenly you're like, oh, I hear you. I hear you. Do you hear me? Can we have a conversation in this frequency? Scary as shit, vulnerable, oh my God, and also possible. Because you don't have all that armor on. And you just, I keep hitting this mic, you just keep elevating your trust, your faith, your vulnerability, your truth, your love, until eventually you can sit in this place where there's no armor. There's no armor. There's this heart that is saying, oh, I feel it. I don't have the answers. I don't have the fix for global peace. What I know, what I feel as a mature soul is that my greatest contribution is to just keep being here, trusting whatever wants to move and flow and create through me, expressing it, allowing that peaceful frequency to emanate out from me, allowing my heart to be open and the emotions to be felt and expressed and not armored and hidden. And that frequency, that truth, that example, that way that I express inspires or activates something in you and moves to the others around you, and that moves to the others around them, and the ripple that starts to flow is coming from this place up here, not this down here. And I'm not trying to oversimplify that, you just make a decision one day, all the armor's dropped, all the trauma's healed, and we just move on. That's not at all what I'm saying. It's layers. It takes time. It takes patience. The wounding of our political leaders has just been almost cemented inside of them and so buffered that I don't even know if they know what's at the core, what their little child inside felt that hasn't been tended to. I don't even know if they know that. Is it even possible for them to ever heal that? I hope so. I believe always that there is room to change. Is that easy? No. Is that something you can just decide to do and it changes? No. It takes focus and attention and time and patience and courage, deep courage. And yet, I don't know that there's always another way, I guess. There's always another option, but the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle are, let's stop. Let's just stop and start unlayering the armor in whatever ways and tools and practices show themselves to us, in whatever resources present themselves. And maybe the first one is just this message, this video that comes from my office in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I sit with my cards and music and water and safety and security and emanate this frequency out to you of there's another way. There's another way to be in this reality. And individually, each of us moving towards maturity is creating this one collective experience that is absolutely possible. What did she say? Trust in pixie dust. It's not impossible. It's not just a fairy tale or magic. It's real. But we have to believe that and take guided action steps that take us on that path. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to create the extended, and I will put that link to that exchange. It's $11 with the meditation. Can't even imagine what the meditation is going to be for this month and this moment in time. So if you feel a resonance, it's worth the exchange. And I will meet you in that space and sit with you. So I wish you a beautiful and a peaceful moment today, and the courage to allow that moment to be a belief that you can come back to again and again. So much love.